by the weather, I was like, I think practice is going to be canceled, and hence we're in studio today, back at our iHeart home. And of course, you can watch us on NOLA.com and our YouTube Live as Jeff was feverishly trying to do something new. There was like this little stand up in the corner, and it all, of course, fell apart about 30 seconds before the show got started. So, you know, me and Jeff were always like on top of it, ready to go. Multimedia stars we are not. It's a little shaky early on, but we got it working for our YouTube Live audience out there. And yeah, you're right. Boy, crazy storm overnight. We knew the Saints were going to get rained out, and so we're in the studio. It's exciting. Yeah, they're not rained out, but they're indoors, so that means it's closed to the public. And so we're not going to have any updates on practices, what's going on, who's there, who's not, playing today, this and that. We will not have any of that info until the end of practice, so it'll be coming pretty fast and furious at the end of the show. So that's a good time if you want to get your Saints updates and you're in the car or you're at work and you're doing whatever. Listen in and we will get as much to you as we can, because practice will probably end 11, 15, 30, something around there. So probably the last 30 minutes of the show will be jam-packed with the latest from Saints camp. But some crazy news out of Baton Rouge. We've been following the story of LSU guard Maya Tahuma, and from one day, they don't know if he's going to be able to practice because of grades. The next day, he's suspended indefinitely. Today, or late last night, he's gone. Transferring off the team. See you later. You lose your starting guard. And I just look at this and be like, whoa, this escalated quickly. And so we're going to have LSU and SEC columnist Ron Higgins on at 10:30 from NOLA.com and Times-Picayune. And we'll get his thoughts on this, because we have been talking about offensive line and you're missing guys in Saints land. Look, I'm sure they did not anticipate that this is going to be a problem. And now depth was already light on that offensive line, and no more Tahuma, and you're going to have some inexperience at guard, and you're going to lose depth because, say, someone who you didn't anticipate was going to play is now going to either have to play or you're going to have to find something. So it's going to be a bit of a mess for a couple weeks up there. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think his brother was kicked off the team a year or so ago under Les Miles. So these two brothers, right, they did not obviously fall in line with the program, and it's disappointing. And the depth, as we've talked about here on the show before, along the offensive line was already a problem. I think they have 11 scholarship offensive linemen. Most major colleges would have 15 minimum, so they cannot afford any attrition. And let's face it, you always have attrition during the football season. So this is something that Matt Canada and Ed Ogeron are going to have to manage during the year. It was already an area of concern, and now even more so. And you look at a friend of ours on Twitter who's done a lot of work with us at NOLA.com, Chris Landry, scouting guru, worked with NFL teams, this, that, and the other. He has a tweet just now at Landry Football saying Tahuma could be headed to either Oklahoma or USC. So it's not like this guy's a slouch. So this is certainly interesting. And when I kept seeing, how his brother got thrown off the team, and does that have any carryover? I don't know. I wouldn't think so, just because he's played there, and other families have gone through LSU's program, and that hasn't deterred them. Like Jordan Jefferson got in some trouble. Ricky Jefferson still went there, and I think the youngest Jefferson brother, is he committed to LSU? I'm not sure, but I know they're interested in him. And so it's just because one brother has a problem, maybe the other one doesn't. But this is certainly something that unexpected, and it's one thing if it's an injury. It's another where, okay, this guy all of a sudden is just not falling in the line, and this isn't the first guy to leave. Well, there's been a steady wave of people leaving the program, right? And that happens when you have coaching turnover. But Ed Ogeron was kind of already in the system, so you thought there would be an easy transition there. But I attribute that a lot to just the fact that we have 85 scholarships now at Division I football, and they just have
an indulgence of players. They don't need 85 players at a major college. This is, once again, the greediness of major college football, where they want to have basically tryouts. That's basically what happens in major college football now. They bring in 4 or 5 running backs, all 4 or 5 star players. They figure out who the best ones are, and then the other ones see they're not going to be atop the depth chart, and they transfer to a lower level where they can play. And if they just scaled back to 75 scholarships, I've been told by college administrators, those 10 scholarships, you could fund a lot of non-revenue sports, and we wouldn't even have a Title IX issue in all of major college athletics. But football is the king, and they want 85 scholarships.
And Jeff, just talking about the family ties and how some have troubled path, like I just mentioned the Jefferson family. Yeah, our Andrew Lopez has a story up right now on NOLA.com saying that Destrehan wide receiver Justin Jefferson signed his paperwork to join the LSU football team on Wednesday. He tweeted it out on Wednesday. So I thought that's what I saw going into this. So it's funny because, like I said, just because one family member has some problems doesn't mean the other one will. And so this is strange.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know the backstory of this. If we ever get it.
Well, the timing of it, you think they would have seen this coming before it got to this point where they're reporting and already starting practice. This is the kind of thing that normally would happen a month or 2 months ago. The coaching staff would have met with them and figured it out. So, yeah, I agree with you. There's more to the story.
Absolutely. And we had on earlier this week our own Chris Dave from NOLA.com and Science Union. He was saying that Lloyd Cushenberry is basically the guy, redshirt freshman, who's jumping into that spot. And as of now, he's a starter until proven otherwise. I'm sure they're going to see who's the best person to make this thing go, but you go into practice, and he's your guy. Also working at right guard is Donovan Campbell, who is a sophomore. So you got 2 young guys. Obviously, they don't have much experience because Jerome was a starter, and you don't want to. You look at a spot like guard, you don't want to make too much of it. But as we see with the way LSU runs the football, and this is a new offense, and you want to have stability up front. And if you don't have stability up front, you can't get the job done in practice. If plays are being blown up in practice, you can't get it right. I mean, we've been seeing it at Saints camp. They can't snap the ball.
Yeah, I
keep coming back to that.
I know, it's hard to get past that. But I know they're high on Lloyd Cushenberry. He's a redshirt freshman. He's going to get thrust into probably a starting assignment now, him or Donovan Campbell, but I would imagine Cushenberry will get the first shot there. And look, he's got talent. I don't think that's the issue. It's just a matter of moving into this level. How's he going to adjust when everything's thrown at him?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just one more little thing like you got to deal with up at LSU. I mean, this is going to be of all the storylines because honestly, we don't know exactly what's going on in practice because you don't know who's out there, who's not. But this is going to be jumping ahead of the game because of the timing of the family ties of all of this. Well, I know we're going to be still monitoring when's Arden Key going to be healthy and this and that, but this is immediate, and the answer isn't, oh, this guy's coming back. He's gone, and he's going to be transferring to a major university.
Well, it's going to make for an intriguing opener against Brigham Young because you've got so many moving parts now on the roster defensively, and so many young guys that are probably going to work their way into the mix here. As Ed Ozon said, we could see as many as 7 freshmen playing. That opener is going to be interesting, not only for the intrigue of Matt Canada's offense, but so many young players getting a chance to step up into the spotlight for the first time that we haven't seen. So I can't wait to get to Houston to see that game. It's not very far away. When you start looking at the calendar, we're a month away from football.
And yeah, remember when we had talked with Ed Ozon about a week ago? Yeah, about a week ago. And I asked him, look, is the fact that BYU, they play Portland State. They're playing even earlier. So they get a game before LSU, and for LSU, it's a big stage, national TV. What's the name? I don't even remember the name of the stadium over there. It used to be Reliant. What is it now?
It's like NRG or something like that.
I don't know,
right?
Yeah.
NRG Stadium.
The place across the street from the old Six Flags, and that basically can swing swallow the Astrodome. That's where they're playing. And so it's the big game, first game. Now, is LSU a better football team than BYU? I think everyone says that. Like, odds makers have them as a double-digit favorite. Probably rightfully so. But still, one spot's not going to hurt you. But inexperience at wide receiver, like we just talked about, what was it, Jacoby Stevens, how he's moving from safety to wide receiver, so, and because of a lack of depth there, and it's going to be interesting. Like, we keep saying that, but you never know, because new coach, new offense, and offense has always been the big question for LSU, and now they have to deal with this.
It'll be interesting to hear what Ron Higgins has to say about it, because he's down there in the mix, and we'll have a better sense of, is this a significant loss? Is it something they can overcome? But I do think when you just start looking at the overall depth, they can't afford too many injuries in the offensive line, and that's an area that they've got to shore up anyway. It's not been a strength over the years, at least recently it hasn't been, because of recruiting shortfalls. And we'll get Jimmy Smith on next week and find out how they are addressing that in recruiting, because I'm sure that's got to be a point of emphasis for Ed Orgeron and his staff.
504-260-1280 is the number to get involved, 504-260-1280. Of course, you can also get involved by jumping in our comment stream in our YouTube Live. That's live, cranked up and running on NOLA.com. I'll get some good questions over there. And, of course, we go into this as the Saints. They're indoors at practice. We're back at the studios, and we're going to talk some Saints action as well. And some breaking news about Sunday's practice. It's going to be off-site.
Yep.
Where could it be?
Ullman Stadium on the Tulane campus, not far from my home. I'm excited that I can walk to the practice.
Jeff, you ruined the tease. Sorry. I'm excited. I had no idea I was teasing. I don't know I was teasing either.
I know.
But yeah, Sunday night, 7 o'clock, night practice at Ullman Stadium. They had practice there last year. It was great. Like, lots of people came. You wondered why they didn't have more practice there. Well, they're going to be going back to our own Josh Katzen's team, breaking that story earlier. But no, we'll be talking plenty of Saints. And then also, I'll tell you on tomorrow's show, we're going to be having hear from Alvin Gentry and DeMarcus Cousins. They're going to be talking to the media about a trip to Africa. Is that right, Jeff? Yes. So they're going to be heading over there, and so we'll talk about that tomorrow. And then Pelicans actually signed a couple of guys. We'll bring you that news as well.
And also, Tom and Gail Benson up in Canton right now, getting ready to have a ceremony where they dedicate Tom Benson Stadium to the Saints owner.
And you got an awesome story about Morton Anderson up at NOLA.com right now. We'll talk about the Hall of Fame because you're leaving tomorrow. Jeff won't even be on the show tomorrow, so
I'll call him.
All right, we'll call him, so we'll be good. So come on back, Sports 1280, NOLA.com, and the iHeart Radio app. We're Dunc and Holders.
Jordy Hultberg, 2 till 4. Is Alabama's dominance bad for the SEC? They said, well, there's parity in the league. Yeah, there's parity. There's you, and then there's about 6 teams that will challenge for the number 2 spot, and then there's a third tier. So there's really a 3-tier SEC. Sports 1280. AutoZone presents Keeping Cool. When the AC is on the fritz, your commute becomes a hot mess. Luckily, AutoZone carries AC Pro refrigerant that helps restore cold air in only 10 minutes. And right now, save $15 by mail-in rebate when you buy 20 ounces of AC Pro refrigerant with hose and gauge. So visit your local AutoZone. With over 5,000 locations, the right supplies and good advice are just around the corner. Let's get you what you need. See store for restrictions and details. Get in the zone, AutoZone. For over 80 years, in the heart of Mid-City, where it's always been, is a New Orleans tradition. Mandina's Restaurant. Come in for some New Orleans staples. Old-style New Orleans food. Atmosphere. And some of the best seafood in the city. Always New Orleans. Always the best. Always Mandina's. That's been case since the Mercedes killer. From the mind of Stephen King. Scott's really trying to get into your head, isn't he? An all-new AT&T original series. This is our guy.
We both got vengeance on the brain.
Mr. Mercedes premieres August 9th at 8, only on Audience. DirecTV Channel 239 is streaming on DirecTV now.
Our 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival, hosted by Ryan Seacrest. Over 20 of the greatest performers on the planet, September 22nd and 23rd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Listen to win your trip starting Monday. State Farm Neighborhood Sessions celebrates great artists who inspire us to give back to our neighborhood. Head to neighborhoodsessions.com to check out what these artists did for their communities and find out how simple it is to help yours. This is Dunc and Holder on Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Welcome back, Dunc and Holder. Not at the Pelicans Media Center today. Practice closed to the public. And we're here, back in the iHeart Studios. Larry Holder, Jeff Duncan here with you on Sports 1280. Get involved, 504-260-1280, 504-260-1280. And you can jump in our YouTube live comment stream. And if you got a question, you can jump on that. And don't forget, next segment, we're going to go up to Baton Rouge. LSU and SEC columnist Ron Higgins will join us and make his second appearance on the show. I'm wondering if he's going to come on and try to fool us as if he's Ed Ogeron. Like the last time he came on, it was like, I had no idea. Like, I thought we called the wrong number because his Ed Ogeron impression was so spot on.
Yeah, Ron, I think, can make a little money on the side doing Ed Ogeron impressions. Such a unique voice.
Him and Jacques Doucet from WAFB. He's like the imitation king. He can mock anyone, and he should be like on cartoons.
You know, Skip Bertman, Jim Hawthorne, did Les. He did a great Les.
John Brady.
Yes. Yeah, Jacques could definitely make a little money doing that.
I don't know if I've ever heard him do a Trent Johnson because I'm assuming it's probably pretty boring. But yeah, as Jeff mentioned on the bottom of the end of that first segment, Saints are going to take training camp to Yulman Stadium on Sunday night, according to sources, Josh Katzenstein reporting. 7 o'clock practice. Obviously, it'll be open to the public, and a great venue. And, of course, you get to go out there, sit comfortably. You're not screaming at media to get out of your way to watch practice, so that's going to be pretty cool. It worked great last year, and I think it'll be working great again on Sunday. And as long as they're here, I bet you they're going to keep doing it because it increases in popularity.
Is Drew Brees going to walk to the Jimmy John's again on Maple Street? And remember that? That was the big thing that came out of it last year.
He walked home in pads. It was almost like it was a mini Rocky scene, except he was walking home because kids kept following in behind. Like, where are all these kids coming from? It's like 10 o'clock at night. They're just like streaming out of houses and following Drew down the street, but he was not running. Pied Piper, exactly. Kind of thing. Like, here's a Jimmy John's sandwich. Hey, eat it up.
That was very strategic on Drew's part.
No.
Everything is. I'm sure he got a large PR bounce out of that.
Yeah.
Well, marketing,
I would say so. But yeah, just a heads up. If you're looking for practice updates, normally we would provide them throughout the show. When practices are closed to the public, they're open to the media, but the media is not one of the stipulations, and that's okay. I get it. I'm not going to go on a rant. It's just what it is. It's NFL guidelines. It's fine. Well, for most teams. But that's the key. That's the key. But hey, we're used to it. Updates will come after practice, so you'll look at all the news and notes in the 11 o'clock hour. But yeah, yesterday, after practice, we harped on it, and I've gone on other shows since our show yesterday, and it's unbelievable that one of those topics we're talking about are poor snaps, just straight up poor snaps. And Sean Payton was asked about it yesterday after practice and said, yeah, it happened yesterday, it happened again today, and it's an epidemic. I'm curious to see if Sean Payton finally says, I've had enough, we're going to work out a center, we're going to bring in a center. Like, even people on Twitter, when that was going down, they're like, look, Nick Mangold's sitting at home. I don't think you're going to go get Nick Mangold. No, you want to get it. Unfortunately for that guy who they signed, a camp body. But I'm curious to see the reports if Senio Calamete is out there starting with the ones, and he hasn't practiced all off-season. I'm curious to see if they just throw him in there and say, screw it, you're being the center so we can get practice going.
Yeah, I think this really boils down to they feel like Max Unger is going to be available for the Vikings game, so they're not worried about necessarily that part, who's going to play center for them during the season. What they're worried about is having an efficient practice and being able to get the rest of the offense working, and you can't do that if you can't get the center snap. It's how everything starts. We talked about it yesterday. It's like they're a car in Indy 500 and can't turn on the engine because nothing gets started.
You would think, if you just heard our, say, last 30 seconds of conversation, you would think we were in Temple, Texas, talking about high school football practice, like if we were on a TV show, like a Friday Night Light show, and screaming about a high school kid that they can't get the snap off. That's how bad I think that is. That's how bad it is.
So actually getting it off, we should clarify, it's coming in high.
It's going nowhere near the quarterback. Like, it actually leaves the guy's hands, but it doesn't get very far. It goes too far. Total disaster.
Who was the pitcher in it was a Wild Thing in the in the movie? What was the movie?
Major League.
Yeah, Major League. That's what we've got.
Ricky Vaughn.
Right. That's who we've got snapping off.
Or Hess, the guy from LSU. Was that Zach Hess?
Zach Hess.
Yes.
We've got a high and wide. You don't know where it's coming from, and the quarterbacks are having to spend too much time concentrating on catching the snap as opposed to reading the field down and the receivers and the coverage.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens there. But overall, yesterday's practice, look, even though the snaps were going crazy and it might have disrupted, the defense came out and played incredible. It seemed like every update you saw was Cam Jordan doing this, Haley Kikana doing that, Ken Crawley, Marcus Williams, so much so that the Saints defense got to take the end of practice off, point and laugh while the offense did wind sprints. And for a defense, I don't care if it's one practice, because I feel like at times we see training camp practices, and most of the time you could probably point and say, all right, the offense got the better of the defense, but sometimes the defense will have some of these practices where they win, and I think the Saints defense can use any help they can get, any kind of confidence, and I'd say yesterday is probably one of those moments.
They need any kind of confidence boost coming off the season they had a year ago, and it'll help so much when they start getting all their bodies out there. They're missing arguably two of the top three corners, probably unarguably two of the top three corners in Delvin Breaux and Marshawn Lattimore. It doesn't sound like either one of them is a significant injury, so that's a good sign. But I'm sure they want to get them back in the mix, especially Lattimore. He needs every rep he can get.
And Lattimore out with a tweaked knee, according to Sean Payton, not a hamstring. He came out and said that, and you can kind of tell in the press conference he hates talking about injuries. He kind of hesitated and yet answered it because I think he understands the importance of this player, the past injury situation of Lattimore, and actually, smartly by him, by doing it, it means he won't be getting the questions every day. He just says, all right, this is what it is, we'll see what happens. Now, if he's out for a month, it's going to come back, but at least he got it out the way, and at least we have an idea of what they're dealing with. Well, of course, if he's actually telling the truth, because he doesn't have to tell the truth, because this is not really an injury report. Well, like he wanted to do a game.
I think he wanted to clear up any speculation about it being a hamstring injury because of Lattimore's history in college of injuries to his hamstring. He wanted to immediately settle that down, and I think he was wise to do that by saying it was a knee tweak. The last thing Saints fans want to hear, or anybody wants to hear right now, is that Lattimore's got a hamstring injury, because a lot of teams downgraded him in the draft with a red flag as an injury question mark because of that history.
I think Saints fans, even a week in a training camp, would be out in the rain with torches out in front of the Saints facility, said, we told you. If it was like a torn up hamstring, be like, we told you, you blew it already. And so smartly Sean Payton diffused it. At least I'll give him a week. It's diffused for about a week. If we don't see Marshawn Lattimore anywhere to be found in a week, this topic will keep coming back up.
Yeah, they can take their time with Delvin Breaux. He's obviously been in the system for 2 years. Lattimore Lattimore needs reps. He needs to see as much live action in the NFL as he can get. So they don't want to obviously rush him back from an injury, but they need to get him out there as soon as possible.
Exactly. Get him out there.
Yeah, so I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will.
Yep, we'll see what happens. So let's take a quick break right here on Dunc and Holder. Coming up next, NOLA.com. Times Picayune, LSU and SEC columnist Ron Higgins will join us, and we'll see if we can get to the bottom of this Maya Tahuma departure from LSU, their starting guard. He gone. So we'll figure out what's next and kind of get Ron's sense of what's going on as he tries to stare through the fence and try to get one snippet of practice. Maybe he sees like a purple flash and just assumes it's Darius Geis or DJ Chark, who knows. But Ron's going to give us his take on what's going on. So come on back, Sports 1280, NOLA.com, and the iHeartRadio app. Dunc and Holder.
This weekend we're going to have to try to reroute everything.
Happy Thursday from the Fox 8 Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Shelby Latino. We'll see those showers and storms likely today, and temperatures staying below average as a result. Mid-80s for highs today, but you'll want the umbrella. And tonight, well, we'll see things drying out a little bit. Temperatures falling into the mid to upper 70s, but don't put those umbrellas away. Looks like we'll need them again for Friday and Saturday. From the Fox 8 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Shelby Latino. Have a great day.
This Thursday through Saturday, get free medium fries and a medium soft drink when you buy any signature crafted sandwich at McDonald's. Like the bold new signature sriracha made with crispy onions, fresh baby greens, and spicy sriracha mac sauce. Only at McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Okay, so 5 tacos of cheese and a large soda. That's 10 pounds at $12. Please drive around.
10,000 what?
I'll pay your buzzed and driving.
I've only had a few. I'm fine.
Yeah, the food's $12, but getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Please drive around. Actually, just park and come in.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Driver, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Driving with Uber is the ultimate side hustle. It totally fits around your schedule, so you can earn whenever you have time. Maybe that's before breakfast on Sundays. Maybe that's after work on Mondays. It's totally up to you. That's the best part. Here's the other equally best part. With Uber's Instant Pay, you can get paid whenever you want. So get your side hustle on. Visit uber.com/drive-now. That's uber.com/drive-now. This weekend at Kohl's, it's all about the jeans. Plus, take an extra 15% off your purchase. With an extra 15% off, juniors distressed jeans are $18.69. Kids jeans are just $12.74. And young men's denim is only $20.40. Plus, everyone gets Kohl's cash, too. In Louisiana, pay no sales tax Friday and Saturday. Game on. Kohl's. Select styles, 15% offer, valid August 4th through August 13th with promo code SCHOOL15. Some exclusions apply. See store at Kohl's.com for details.
That's great. It starts with an earthquake. Whether you bless those boys or take flight, we're talking your teams. Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Dunc and Holder back at you. Be careful out there. Rainy weather. I know we might say something and it might fly over your brain and you might drive off crazily, but be careful out there on the roads. They're slightly soggy. So I'm assuming LSU football practice will be indoors because I'm sure it's storming up there. And yet, I know one person who's probably got like a DeWalt drill and is like finding any place where he can drill a hole into a fence or drill a hole into that metal in the practice facility so he could just catch every moment of LSU practice, since people of his ilk are not allowed in at all this offseason. Is Ron Higgins, LSU SEC columnist, the NOLA.com and the Times Picayune. Ron, have you gotten your peephole drilled yet? And that is meant to sound exactly the way it sounded.
No, but this rain is kind of shaking my plans of running a hot air balloon. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. That would work. I can experience that.
Here's the thing, we've had a history of renting helicopters and flying over houses and taking pictures of certain head coaches' houses, and he is not like that. Remember that, Jeffrey?
Yeah,
I was not working there yet.
Sean Payton was not happy about that, but hey, we got to go to any expense to get the news to our readers, right?
Hey, my wedding anniversary Friday. You know, I can go on a romantic wedding anniversary hot air balloon ride over LSU's practice field.
I'm sure your wife would think that's the most romantic thing she's ever seen.
Hey, buddy, look. Hey, look, buddy, can you do me a favor? Will you hold this camera so I can do a Facebook Live?
And you can toast champagne, have a nice bottle of bubbly.
Yeah, really.
And you can look down on the offensive line and see if they have enough players left to actually have 5 starters.
Yeah, that's the biggest concern right now. Out of all this stuff, going preseason, I mean, to whom are gone, and I mean, it was Stu anyway. That's their biggest concern. So, some of those young guys are going to have to really come on and play pretty well. So that's a concern for them.
How big a concern is it? I mean, is it, Larry and I were just talking, is this something that Tiger fans need to really worry about, or is it something that, okay, there's a redshirt freshman going to be in there and he'll get his feet under him by 3 or 4 games and no one will even notice?
Well, I mean, I think it's all concern when you don't have enough depth on the offensive line, particularly in the SEC, and you've got to stay, fairly well all year. I mean, a couple of years ago, when LSU was blowing and going, they were unbeaten. They started some offensive linemen hurt, and their fullbacks got hurt, and then Fournette got blown up in games, and then they lost in the game down the stretch. So yeah, it's a concern. I mean, they really need some of the younger guys to step up. Guys they have some young guys who started last year and played fine, but it's a depth problem too, and then who's playing behind them. In this offense, I mean, they probably need to, few offensive linemen. They do a lot of shifting, a lot of formations, and we're talking about even a receiver. Maybe we have a healthy rotation receiver because of all the motion and shifting and formations they do.
Ron Higgins, LSU and SEC columnist for NOLA.com and Time Speaking. Join us right here on Dunc and Holder and Sports 1280 on NOLA.com. Ron, you look at almost the situation on the outside, you can say, wow, but this thing ramped up pretty quickly, and he goes from having some academic issues, we don't know what's going to happen, to being suspended indefinitely, to gone. I mean, do we have any kind of insight of how this thing escalated so quickly and what happened, because it seems extremely sudden?
Yeah, I mean, it's in violation of team rules. Does that mean he flunked out? I mean, did he just gone? I mean, they never announced the academic stuff to me that has academic issues. Maybe he flunked out. I don't know. I mean, now you don't want to put down the kid when you don't know it. But when the student fails to be specific about something, that's when the conjecture starts, and the conjecture a lot of times is worth natural truth. And that's why, I mean, these schools, in their effort to protect their players sometimes aren't doing them a favor. If the kid had academic issues and if he flunked out, just say that, he didn't pass his grade, he looked the one that go elsewhere. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it happens to guys all the time. Well, when you move it up in the air like this, that's when the conjecture starts. Did he do this? Did he do this? Did he fail drug test? Did he do this? And all this stuff starts. I don't understand why you can't be honest about something until one guy leaves. I mean, schools will always want to make a big deal when they sign a guy. I mean, my God, it's when they sign a guy, I mean, it's a big deal. But when a guy leaves, it's like, can you go up the back door real quiet, please? And you try not to tweet it to me. Don't tweet until you leave, And that's why sometimes I have no problem with that. Just be honest about why guys leaving.
What is your take on the decision by Ed Orgeron to close the practices? Seriously, is it the fact that he's going to reopen them in August, does that bother you, or are we making a mountain out of a molehill about this?
I guess part of me thinks, what it would have hurt to watch 15 minutes of practice if you don't see anything anyway. You go in there and count players who are there who are not there, and shoot some videos or shoot free drills from out of there. I mean, part of me, and I don't understand why we're not in. Another part, at least Ed explained it, at least he was apologetic about it, instead, I'm trying to position saw in this offense. There's a lot of new defensive players that are trying to stick in different places. Give us August 21st. If we get finished before that, we'll let you before that, but I'm really sorry. I mean, at least he explained it. You know, and that's his reasoning excuse for doing a call. At least he took the time to explain it and apologize, was apologetic about it. As the previous coach who was didn't give a damn.
Ron Higgins, LSU SEC columnist, join us right here on Dunc and Holder. You can follow Ron on Twitter at, what is it, at Ron Higgins.
Yeah.
You couldn't get ins in there? Couldn't fit it?
No, I just a Ron Higgins. Kind of like Ron Cole, but Ron Higgins.
There you go. When you look at the battles of positions throughout LSU, either offensively, defensively, what's the main battles that you're curious about going forward? I can probably point, safety seems like it's a log jam, and that's why you move a freshman to wide receiver. And then also you're moving Stevens to wide receiver because they have a lack of depth at wide receiver, apparently.
Yeah, I think wide receiver, they're trying to find some guys, like I said, they said they want to use 6-7 guys in rotation because of all the conference formations and stuff, and using all the motion and stuff. Now, this wasn't really needed before since Les didn't understand what motion was. So they're using all the kids. They got to find some people. And they got really one experienced receiver back, DJ Chark, and the rest are just pretty brand new with not much experience, and so but they like some of the young guys they got. Derek Dillon has been been talking a lot of sophomore from Franklin. He's been talking a lot about DJ Chark. I mean, there's other guys in there. I think that's the position they're trying to shore up because if they don't run this offense, they really want to run it. They're going to throw the ball quite a bit, and they want playmakers besides guys and DJ Chark. So some other people got to step up, and I think that's the main thing right now to worry about. Is do we have enough receivers? I mean, my biggest concern was, I think right now there's more concerns on the offense and defense. The defense lost a lot of people. Right now, the offensive line and receivers, you got to find some people in the next 2 to 3 weeks before we get an opener.
How do you feel about that opener, Ron? This seems to me like a little bit of a dicey game. Even though I think LSU's clearly more talented, BYU's no pushover, and when you look at their schedule a year ago, they played a lot of close games against some really good Pac-10 opponents. I think it's going to be an intriguing game.
Yeah, I mean, a new coach last year, and they finished strong. They got a quarterback who 2 years ago was a starter, didn't play much last year, but 2 years ago loaded up as a freshman. They have some, quality running backs. They're kind of, their receiving corps like kind of LSU unknown. They've got a defensive end back who's been in place since 2015 because of suspensions, and he's killing it in preseason camp. This is, if LSU doesn't come up and really, take it seriously, I mean, it can be a game. That said, I think LSU's speed will probably kill him if LSU executes the way they're supposed to. I think, this is a really key game for LSU. It sounds crazy for your season opener, but considering how bad LSU looked in last year's season opener against Wisconsin, they really need to come out of the gate and really, not just win, but really, the offense needs to, be, semi-sharp, and that's hard to do when you look at offense for the first time in a game situation against another team. But I think LSU's offense is looking forward to playing a defense that doesn't know what's coming. They all in practice, you go get your same guys, they kind of start to figure out what you're doing, and I think they're eager to go somewhere else and sit somewhere else. So I think it's a highly difficult season opener because LSU's finally changing offenses after forever, and people want to see if they can, how it operates. Will Evan be great in it? I mean, will guys be used differently in it besides running the ball? And I think offensively LSU needs to come out big in the opener, and they should, if the speed should kill if they come out focused.
Ron, you look at a player like Rashard Lawrence, and he got some preseason pub from the media up in Hoover when you guys were all at SEC Media Days. Third team All-SEC preseason, and yet you look at his statistics, and they pale in comparison to anyone else, and not in a good way. He's had 6 tackles, 1 tackles for a loss, and a sack last year. And what is the expectation? Obviously, the media thinks he can bring something to the table, but what are the expectations up at LSU for Rashard?
Well, there's the expectations, because he had a great spring. Really good one game. He had a really good spring. Last year he was still figuring things out as a freshman. And in the last year, honestly, after he started, hitting some people pretty good, he started getting doubled a lot. So there was a respect level up there already for him. But that didn't mean that, he's bigger and better than he was last year. His technique is better. The coaches say he's more consistent. His teammates say he's tough to deal with as far as trying to block. And so they think that this guy's going to be there, really stuffed up and some stuff to line. They like the way he's played in preseason. They like the way he played in the spring. So there's a justification for the preseason ranking.
Ron Higgins, LSU and SEC columnist for NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune. You can follow him on Twitter at Ron Hig, 2 G's, not just 1, 2 G's.
And you can see him flying above Baton Rouge in a hot air balloon this weekend.
I see him right now, actually. Why are you in our window? This is weird. You're peering out.
Well,
I'm scared.
You got to go off course.
Crash landing here on Howard Avenue in New Orleans. Hey, Ron, appreciate it as always, buddy, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, guys. See ya.
All right, see ya. Ron Higgins there with the latest up in Baton Rouge. Let's take a quick break right here on Dunc and Holder, 504-260-1280. And, of course, you can get involved in our YouTube Live comment section as well. We will throw some questions out there. And later on in the show, we're going to get plenty of LSU talk with plenty of Saints talk as well. We'll hear from wide receiver Ted Ginn. We'll hear from new starting left tackle Ryan Ramczyk. He seems to be unopposed at this point with Teron Armstead out. And defensive tackle David Onyemata, who has competition and yet seems to be earning his way with the first team right now. So we'll get all that. And of course, as practice updates come at the end of the show, we'll bring all that to you as well. Sports 1280, NOLA.com, and the iHeartRadio app. We're Dunc and Holder.
Join Corey Johnson on The Neutral Ground, 4 till 6.
When you come to the Neutral Ground, you can expect sports, news, politics, food, music, whatever's going on, the vibe of the city.
Sports 1280,
New Orleans.
Men, you know how women are always suggesting something looks really good on you, and you think it's because they want to change you? It's the exact opposite. Frigo by RevolutionWear.com is underwear reimagined, the ideal solution for all that squirming and adjusting you're experiencing. Frigo by RevolutionWear.com releases you from pinching, pulling, and restricting. And trust me, they love the way it looks on you. Frigo by RevolutionWear.com. The revolution starts below.
Something massive has happened to the iHeartRadio app. We listen to your ideas and suggestions. Everything you had to tell us about how we could improve your listening experience. And the result is the newly designed iHeartRadio app. It's not an update, but a complete upgrade. With one goal in mind, getting you closer to the music you love.
This is Dan from Imagine Dragons, and this is iHeartRadio.
Download and open the new iHeartRadio app today.
Hurry in. For a limited time, get big savings on automotive batteries while they're hot. Visit AutoZone today for hot deals on the parts and supplies you need. While heat causes battery fluid to evaporate, which could damage your battery, Duralast batteries are designed to beat the heat. Tested to start your car at up to 167 degrees Fahrenheit. And right now, you'll get a $20 AutoZone gift card by mail-in rebate when you buy select automotive batteries. Let's get you what you need. Restrictions details apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
While many rose up with violence, he sat down for peace. Mahatma Gandhi reached out with the strength he cultivated within his soul. So, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
This is Dunc and Holder on Sports Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Welcome back, as we are back at our iHeart Radio studio here on Howard Avenue in the CBD. As the Saints, they're practicing right now, but it's closed to the public today, closed to the public tomorrow, so no tickets to be had. That was previously scheduled, so don't go out there looking for stuff. Saturday, practice will be at the Saints facility. They're going to have another fan fest going on out there, kind of like what they did last weekend to open up camp on Saturday and Sunday. And then Sunday's practice, according to sources to our own Josh Katzenstein at NOLA.com and Times-Picayune, practice will be at Tulane's Ullman Stadium. I cannot preach enough. If you want to go see a practice, that's the place to go. It is a great setting. I love Ullman Stadium. I think it's a cool, small college stadium, and there's not a bad seat in the house.
I didn't see, are they taking tickets for that?
I would assume so,
because, I mean, there's a because I don't think 27,000 fans could get in there.
I don't think the Saints have even announced it yet.
I bet you can just show up there, because one of the reasons they're taking numbers and tickets registration for the Saints facility is it only holds about 4,000, 4,500 seating capacity, whereas that's not going to be the problem at Ullman. I mean, there's not going to be 25,000 people there.
Maybe, who knows? Sunday night, party on! Let's get crazy, right before school starts.
Yeah, I would be surprised. You could probably just show up there. I'm sure they'll come out with information before that.
Yeah, once we get it to you, we will get it to you. Now, Jeff, right now, up in Canton, Ohio, and you're going to be heading up there tomorrow for the Hall of Fame ceremony. Of course, Morton Anderson, our friend and our studio cohort, since he's hanging on our wall with his beefcake poster. They are. What are they doing up there right now? Having a statue?
Well, they're actually honoring Saints owners Tom and Gail Benson. The stadium is actually going to be called Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. So tonight, when you're watching the game, who is it tonight? The Cowboys.
Wait, they have football tonight?
Cowboys Cardinals.
Now
tonight.
Yeah, I think it is Cowboys Cardinals now. Let's not go overboard and call it real football. Let's just call it.
Definitely not.
Let's just call it entertainment on a Thursday night.
But you'll get your first chance to see this new $137 million renovation. A lot of money involved, and Tom Benson donated $10 million toward that. And in addition to the stadium, there's also a Hall of Fame village where they have a new hotel. I mean, they really, David Baker, under his direction, the president and CEO of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, father of Sam Baker, if you remember, used to be a Falcons offensive lineman. David Baker has really changed the profile, I think raised the profile of the Hall of Fame. He's really turned that thing around, and kudos to him for getting this beautiful new stadium on board, and they're going to dedicate, in a ceremony that's going on right now in Canton, Ohio, honoring Tom Benson and Gail Benson, and they're actually going to unveil another statue of Tom Benson. And it's everywhere! And this is, I've seen, it's weird. It was on the internet. The Hall of Fame tweeted out like a sneak peek of the statue, and now it's disappeared. You can't find it anywhere. They took the tweet down. The Canton Repository, which is the local paper, they had a photo on their website. It's gone. What? I don't know if somebody jumped the gun and shouldn't have let it out, or the Hall of Fame went back to everybody and said, please take it down. We want this to be a surprise and we'll unveil it. Because you could see it for a day or so and then it all disappeared. But the statue, when I saw it online, it was a younger Tom Benson. This looked like the Benson Boogie era.
Let's say the umbrella?
Yeah, parasol, right. Yeah. It was that era Tom Benson, as opposed to the one we're used to seeing now. You know, he's in his 80s and 90s. Just turned 90.
I just hope that the game actually gets played tonight. Remember last year? The game did not get played.
That was a debacle.
I would say a slight
debacle. The turf melted, or the paint melted, or something.
Paint was unplayable. Like, people would get stuck in it and they would, like, tear up their knees. So that's all Tom Benson wants, his name to be attached to that. If you see that, I'm sure he's making a call, waving, saying, shut this thing down so I don't look like a dude.
Right, and I'm sure David Baker and his crew were embarrassed by that. I mean, that's never a good thing. They have to cancel a game because of field conditions. But if you've ever been up to Canton, everything is built around the Hall of Fame. It Friday night that I'll be at tomorrow night, where all the Hall of Famers come and are introduced, and so you've got 300-something legends in one room. It's really a remarkable night. And then, of course, the enshrinement ceremony will be, I think it's 6 p.m. Central Time on Saturday night. And I believe Morton Anderson is the third presentation of the class of 2017.
Yes, he's number 3. And as Ask and You Shall Receive, the Pro Football Hall of Fame Twitter account literally just tweeted a picture of the statue. Yeah, he's got a cane, but Tom is looking like he's determined in this statue. Yeah, that's a good-looking statue.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I thought so. So they obviously wanted that to be kept under wraps. Didn't want it out. So
I'm disappointed he didn't have the umbrella up and boogie. Like,
he didn't have the umbrella
jig. That would have been great.
But Tom Benson now with 2 statues. How many owners have more than 1 statue? I don't even know very many have 1. He's got 2. It's pretty impressive.
How many people have 2 statues, period? Like actual, just not NFL owners, like people.
Not very many.
How many statues does Abraham Lincoln have?
I'm sure he's got more than 2. I'm guessing.
Are we sure?
I bet those.
What if Tom Benson has more statues than Abraham Lincoln?
Washington, D.C. there's got to be a statue of Lincoln. There's going to be one in Kentucky where he was born. And I bet there's one in Illinois. I'm guessing. I'm going 3.
Where's the Duncan Holder statue? I just want a bobblehead.
Don't hold your breath.
I just want a bobblehead. I want a t-shirt. We don't even have a t-shirt yet. Let's get it going.
Our marketing department is on that. We will be giving out t-shirts, Duncan Holder t-shirts, and I think hats might be in the works. I'm not sure.
We need to have, like, you go to, like, Florida vacation where they airbrush. We need our likeness airbrushed on the shirt, and that's what we have.
No, let's just keep our likenesses off of all marketing products. We have a snazzy logo. That logo's awesome.
The logo's great.
Yeah, they did a great job. Kudos to Ryan Lips.
Can I just have just my hair like a frat boy swoosh?
I knew we were going in that direction.
A frat boy swoosh on there?
We're getting lots of no shakes from Clyde and Dave.
Can we get a Duncan Holder logo on some of those like Mardi Gras panties before a logo?
See, this is where we're going. I knew it.
I am train wreck. I am totally in.
And then Boogie Cousins could have him on his head as the King of Zulu.
See, there you go. We got a Boogie and a Zeke. We've gone in the dumpster on a Thursday afternoon. Jeff's got a case of the Fridays apparently. Yeah, breaking news, Duncan Holder in the dumpster. Just throw some gasoline on it, light it on fire. Off the air. Didn't make it 3 weeks. I don't know what the over-under was on there, but yeah. But Jeff, yeah, look, the Hall of Fame ceremony, back to the Hall of Fame. Something you've been to a bunch of times. I know you look forward to it. It's a crazy trip to get to Canton, but once you get there, it's something to see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the ceremony on Saturday night and visiting with some of Morton's teammates. He's got, I think he told me, 37 teammates from Michigan State coming in. A bunch of Saints are going to be there. Not foster, that's not the right word. His parents in Indianapolis, well, his parents are going to be there from Denmark. His brother, who's from Denmark and now lives in Chicago, is going to be there. But also, Brian Hansen.
Take it to the top. You need it. You need to be in the middle of that, Jeff. Get it going.
I'm going to do my best to get a rendition of that. We will have that here if we do.
There's no question about it. Something tells me I'll play it on the show tomorrow while you're gone. Absolutely. So hour number 1 is up. Hour number 2 is on the way. We'll talk heavy Saints. We'll hear from Ted Ginn, Ryan Ramchick, and David Aviamata. And as practice updates come in, we will bring them to you right here on Sports 1280 on NOLA.com and the iHeart Radio app. And if you want to get involved, 504-260-1280. He's Jeff Duncan. I'm Larry Holder. You add it all together, this dumpster fire is Duncan Holder.
WODT WNOE FM HD2 New Orleans. Listen on the free iHeart Radio app. Search Sports 1280. Fox Sports trending now.
Miami Dolphins hoping
that it's not deja vu all over again? Their quarterback Ryan Tannehill missed the final 3 games of last season and Miami's wild card loss to the Steelers after suffering an ACL and MCL injury to his left knee. Today, he's being examined after going down with a non-contact injury to that same knee after a scramble during today's practice. Meanwhile, the NFL preseason kicks off tonight, 8 Eastern from Canton, Ohio. The Cowboys take on the Cardinals in the Hall of Fame game. A couple of fan favorites call it a career in their respective sports. In the NHL, Nashville Predators captain Mike Fisher announced his retirement after 17 seasons. And in boxing, former world heavyweight champ Vladimir Klitschko has announced his retirement. 41-year-old has a career record of 64-5. Breaking sports news as it happens, I'm Deb Carson.
Hey y'all, Blake Shelton here, on the road for the Doing It to Country Songs Tour. Brought to you by Nissan Titan. You know the best part about getting a new truck? Getting it dirty for the first time, and then every time after that. With the capable 2017 Nissan Titan, you can. And you can do it a whole lot more. And keep doing it. Because the Titan's got America's best limited truck warranty, which is just another way of saying it won't let you down. 5 years, 100,000 miles, bumper to bumper. So go on, get to work or play. And get that truck looking good and dirty. And if you like keeping it clean, well, that's what hoses are for. So head to your local Nissan dealer today and pick up a 2017 Nissan Titan. Take on any job. Nissan, innovation that excites. See your local Nissan dealer or call 1-888-858-8319 for details on limited truck warranty information.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. It's here. A massive innovation has produced a transformative driver, and that driver is the new Great Big Bertha Epic. So what makes it epic? 2 titanium rods inside the head connect the crown and the soul of the new Epic driver. It's called jailbreak technology. So why does this matter? Well, when any driver hits a ball, the head deforms at impact and loses energy. Jailbreak strengthens the head and dramatically reduces how much it deforms, which means the driver face can flex more freely and transfer more energy into the ball. Ball speed and distance increase dramatically for every type of player, including me. This is not a slight tweak or revision to an existing design. Jailbreak is a radical change in driver construction that delivers epic speed and can only be found in the new Epic driver from Callaway. Experience Epic today at CallawayGolf.com or simply go hit it and feel the tremendous shift in power from jailbreak technology in the new Great Big Bertha Epic from Callaway. Honda's having a summer party called the Honda Summerbration Sales Event, where there are great deals on the 2017 Accord. With an available 278 horsepower V6 engine with sport mode, it's perfect for long summer drives. Plus, it has adaptive cruise control, a system that helps you maintain a safe following distance even if the driver in front of you changes speed. But you better hurry to your local Honda dealer because like summer, the Honda Summerbration Sales Event will not last long. Don't wait. Check out the Honda Summerbration Sales Event going on now.
AutoZone presents Keeping Cool. When the AC is on the fritz, your commute becomes a hot mess. Luckily, AutoZone carries AC Pro refrigerant that helps restore cold air in only 10 minutes. And right now, save $15 by mail-in rebate when you buy 20 ounces of AC Pro refrigerant with Frozen Games. So visit your local AutoZone. With over 5,000 locations, the right supplies, and good advice are just around the corner. Let's get you what you need. See store for restrictions and details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Did you catch all the bad guys?
That's a big case as the Mercedes killer. From the mind of Stephen King. Scott's really trying to get into your head, isn't he? An all-new AT&T original series. This is our guy.
We both got vengeance on the brain.
Vengeance. Mr. Mercedes premieres August 9th at 8. Only on Audience. DirecTV Channel 239 and streaming on DirecTV Now. Concur does what might seem impossible for your business. It makes employees happy and finance happy. How? Well, employees love automated expense reports and invoices they can submit and approve from anywhere. And finance loves that they have full visibility into employee spend. Plus, Concur integrates with leading finance systems. Concur makes the process better for everyone. Concur. Expense, travel, invoice. Learn more at concur.com.
1280, NOLA.com, and the iHeart Radio app. You can listen to us all over the world, in space, possibly on the moon, probably not in the sun. You probably burn up, so don't try it there. But here for hour number 2 on a Thursday. Be careful out there. Roads are wet. If we say something idiotic, don't drive off the road. I'm just going to say that. Don't do it. Because it's highly possible we say something idiotic.
Yeah, I don't think the odds are even money. That something will come out of our mouths that we regret at some point.
I think I've already regretted half the show already. But no, we're going to have plenty of Saints talk. Wide open, hour number 2. So if you want to get involved, 504-260-1280. But we're going to be talking plenty of Saints. We've got some sound we got from Ted Ginn Jr., from Ryan Ramczyk, and from David Onyemata. So we got some of that going on as well. So we'll sprinkle that in throughout the show as Saints are probably pretty close to wrapping up practice, and anything coming from that we will bring to you. But actually, we got some interesting news just through Twitter that the USA Today, the Amway coaches poll, up right now, and where's LSU? They have them at number 12 right now. So that's about right. Yeah, they have that, and it's the Amway coaches poll is conducted weekly throughout the regular season using a panel of head coaches at the FBS schools. And so, yeah, number 1 is Alabama, 2 Ohio State, 3 Florida State, 4 USC, Clemson 5, the rest of the top 10, Penn State, Washington, Oklahoma, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Oklahoma State is 11, LSU 12, all the Louisville Cardinals, that's what we're all waiting on, is number 17, and above them, between them and LSU, Florida 16, Georgia 15, Stanford 14, Auburn 13. As I'm just on a roll, I'm just going to rattle it off. 18, Miami, 19, Kansas State, 20, West Virginia, 21, South Florida, 22, Virginia Tech, 23, Texas, 24, Tennessee, 25, Utah. Did BYU get any votes? BYU got 10 votes, so they were deep below in the others receiving votes. So LSU, right now, number 12. So
that's about right. And Alabama's going to be number 1 until somebody knocks them off. That's just the way they are. They lost a ton of talent, and they just seem to reload every year. But I really think Ohio State is going to be the best team in the country this year. They were very young last year. I believe they were the youngest Power 5 team in all of college football. It's amazing how good they were being that young. They got experience by making the college football semifinals. I know they got beat handily by Clemson, but that experience, I think, will carry them over to this year, and they are loaded with top prospects, NFL, all up and down their lineup. I think they're going to be tough.
First place votes, Alabama got 49, Ohio State got 5, Florida State got 4, Clemson got 7, and so, yeah, the big dogs are the big dogs. It's not like there's any major surprise when you see all these monster teams. And let me do a quick count.
Don't we, in the opener this year, like Alabama, Florida State?
Yes.
That's going to be incredible. Right off the bat, number 1 and number 3.
When was it that close? When did Texas play Ohio State? Remember that? And
right.
It was a big, 2-3 or 1-3 or something like that. It was a couple of years ago.
I love those games. I love those interconference games. I cannot stand the cupcake non-conference opponent. I know people try to justify it by saying they need to play home games and make money for the athletic program. I love to see these non-conference games. I wish we could eliminate that cupcake schedule part of the college football season, because you really don't know. It's hard to compare the conferences unless they play each other.
LSU is the second highest SEC school in these rankings. Really? That's interesting. Yeah, they're above Auburn, above Florida. They're above Florida. Yeah, there are 6 SEC schools in there, and Bama's 1, and then there's not another one in the top 10. Next one is LSU 12, Auburn 13, Georgia 15, Florida 16, and Tennessee 24.
So the coaches are giving Ed Orgeron and the gang a little bit of respect. They're probably the second most talented team in the SEC. I think it's just a matter of it's a lot of young talent. And I think it's hard to separate Florida, Auburn, Georgia, Tennessee, LSU. They're all about the same team, I think, in some people's minds.
Yeah, they have flaws. They're good in some spots, but they're just kind of, I almost feel like those teams will enter this season kind of with the same attitude I had in them last year. Like, first of all, let's see. The SEC East has to prove it's at least viable. When's the last time, the Tebow teams, honestly, when's the last time that the SEC East has had legitimate star quality going forward? I really think it might be the Tebow teams. That's it.
Yeah, it's like the stepchild division in SEC football. No question about it. I mean, there's some years when the third or fourth place team in the West is better than the best team in the East. And look, while we're talking college football, we'll switch gears a little bit and talk Tulane just quickly. They got a commitment yesterday from Ascension Episcopal offensive tackle, and I'm going to butcher his last name, but bear with me. Michael, looks like it's either Remonde or Remondet, but he's a 6'4", 250-pound, and that fits into what Willie Fritz wants on his offensive line. Athletic guys that can run. 6'4", 250 is not a particularly big offensive lineman, but that's what he did at his past stops. He brought in these guys who were almost like tight ends and beefed them up into offensive linemen, and that's going to be critical for the Green Wave as they try to get his offensive system down. So, again, Green Wave getting some momentum with all these. I think that's the 9th commitment now for the 2018 recruiting class and the 3rd offensive lineman. So that's a point of emphasis for Willie Fritz.
Well, Jeff, as you're speaking, literally they got their 10th commitment.
Wow. Carlos Hatcher, a 6'3", 235-pounder from Hebron, Texas, announced on his Twitter account. And this is via our Will Guillory, who is still diving into some Tulane coverage at NOLA.com and Times-Picayune. He's their 10th overall commitment, and he is the son of former NFLer Jason Hatcher, who's a veteran guy. I remember him playing for the Cowboys, so got some NFL pedigree. Had offers from Southern Miss and Grambling. So
Jason Hatcher was a Grambling State alum, so that's
I guess
good.
that's the connection.
Yeah, obviously a Louisiana connection there.
Right.
And that's a good sign. Look, good pedigree there. And I was talking to Will Guillory actually yesterday about how Tulane practice has gone, and he was saying it is clearly Jonathan Banks' job. I mean, like, there's really not a competition there. He's the quarterback.
I would assume that, considering when we went to the Manning Passing Academy, he was there, and a lot of people talked to him. So if you're sending your quarterback there, he's got to be the guy. Even though Tanner Lee's still in the building and he's the starter at Nebraska, I'm just saying.
That was fun talking to and Neil Reynolds. We were talking to him yesterday, the NFL reporter for Sky Sports. And look, he lives in London, and his son is a quarterback over in England. He's 16 years old, and he was asking me about the Manning Passing Academy. He's thinking about sending his son there next year. And I said, by all means, do it. He'll get the best experience of his life. That's right in his wheelhouse, 16-year-old quarterback. He'll be there with all those great college quarterbacks, of course, the Mannings, the top high school quarterbacks in the country. So I thought that was interesting. He said that it's becoming a bigger trend now. Kids in high school, now more high schools having American football as part of their athletic programs.
Yeah, and I was going to kind of segue into what some of the guys we saw at the Manning Passing Academy when we went about a month and a half ago, let's call it that. And I look at USC at 4, 10-3. I guess the program is on the rise. I don't know how much I buy into them because I haven't seen this greatness from the Pac-10, Pac-12, Pac-50, whatever the hell they are now, in a while. But I guess when you got Sam Darnold, who is seemingly the consensus best quarterback in college football and top prospect, he's basically, I'm not comparing him into Andrew Luck, but he's like that number one guy going into this season, and all eyes are going to be on him. I'm assuming that's why they're so highly thought of, because he's a stud quarterback.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. And that lineup they had this year, I mean, you had the Heisman Trophy winner, Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold, Nick Fitzgerald. For Jonathan Banks to get to go there, I think Danny Etling was there.
Yep.
and work with those other quarterbacks. What a great experience for anybody involved. I just think you could not send your kid to a better camp if he's a quarterback. And also receivers, one of the things that was interesting was talking to Neil Reynolds yesterday. He said the real problem over in England is they don't have anybody who can catch the ball. He said they're not used to having good receivers, so everybody's dropping the ball all the time.
In their football, they don't use hands.
I know. But he said it's a serious issue. And so he's looking forward to taking his son over to America next year to all these camps so he can actually get with some top-flight receivers.
I think that smells like a column idea, Jim.
I think so. I think I need to go to England for about a month.
Well, you're going to be going for a week.
I know. I'm trying to extend it longer on the back end.
Anything for you to extend a trip, you're in.
Yeah, of course. I would love to spend a little more time in London because we'll be busy that week. Is everybody? It sounds glamorous, and look, we're not digging ditches, but it is a lot of work when you get over there because it's intense. I mean, the Saints are trying to get their practices in a foreign environment, literally, and they are being pulled in a lot of directions for promotional events as the NFL wants to promote this NFL experience for all the fans over there.
And it's a regular season game, and you're used to just your routine of a regular season. Now, if it's playoffs and a Super Bowl, you anticipate this, but this is for a regular season game, so I'm sure Sean Payton's going to have to kind of navigate that. And
he hates distractions.
What?
He hates it. So
I thought he loves them.
No, he will be laser focused trying to keep his team with their eye on the prize.
Next segment here on Dunc and Holder. Let's listen into what some of the players had to say yesterday after practice. Some interesting comments from Ted Ginn, from Ryan Ramczyk, and from David Onyemata. We'll get to that. And open show. Jump in the conversation if you want. 504-260-1280 or the YouTube live feed on our NOLA.com. Which is now fixed. Wow, that away. So
unfortunately, we're still hearing Journey in our speakers for some reason.
Did Herbie Teope just take over? Dave, did Herbie call from practice illegally and get you on the phone? I'm gonna say no, but it might be a yes. Come on back, Sports 1280, NOLA.com, and the iHeart Radio app. We're Dunc and Holder.
There's someone else loving, touching, squeezing.
Join Corey Johnson on The Neutral Ground, 4 till 6.
I think when you come to The Neutral Ground, you can expect sports, news, politics, food, music, whatever's going on, the vibe of the city.
Sports 1280.
New Orleans.
AutoZone presents Keeping Cool. When the AC is on the fritz, your commute becomes a hot mess. Luckily, AutoZone carries AC Pro refrigerant that helps restore cold air in only 10 minutes. And right now, save $15 by mail-in rebate when you buy 20 ounces of AC Pro refrigerant with hose and gauge. So visit your local AutoZone. With over 5,000 locations, the right supplies and good advice are just around the corner. Let's get you what you need. See store for restrictions and details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Rich Eisen here. It's baseball season. Every fan knows this is a sport that relies a lot on analytics. Every team needs the greatest and latest data to make smart choices. Buying a car is no different. You got to have the right data so you can make sure you're getting a fair price, but that's not always easy. There are so many sites with all kinds of pricing information, but TrueCar cuts through all that clutter. You see what other people near you paid for the same car you want. They have pricing info on thousands of recent transactions, so you know you're getting a good deal without having to do the math yourself. TrueCar certified dealers also offer real pricing on actual inventory. I'm talking about cars that exist, that are on the lot, with prices for the exact VIN number. TrueCar users save over $3,000 off MSRP on average. And because they're able to connect with a TrueCar certified dealer ahead of time, they know what they should be paying before they arrive on the lot. When you're ready for a more confident car buying experience, check out TrueCar.
Some features not available in all states.
It's Macy's one-day sale, Saturday, with a preview day Friday, with amazing deals of the day, like dresses for her, 20% off, men's suits, dress shirts and ties, 50 to 70% off. Take 30 to 50% off shoes for her. Save on dazzling fine jewelry selection, 60 to 75% off, and designer bedding collections and bath essentials, 60% off. Earn plenty points during Macy's one-day sale. Plenty, lots of points, lots of places, one rewards program. Savings off regular and sale prices. Exclusions apply.
Napa know-how.
If your car's due up for an oil change, but you've been holding out till Mobil 1 Full Synthetic Motor Oil was on sale for just $5.79 a quart, does that mean you've been patient or you've been procrastinating? Either way, your procrastination just paid off, because you can get Mobil 1 Full Synthetic for just $5.79 a quart. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 8/31/17.
This is Dunc and Holder on Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Just a heads up, Jeffrey will be globe-trotting tomorrow. He will take the long route to Canton. I think he will go through, like, Paris to Moscow to Beijing to Honolulu to L.A. to Chicago to Canton. Is that your flight schedule?
No, it's actually Houston to Cleveland to Canton.
There's a flight to Canton?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Cleveland to Canton?
It's like, I know, we go up, we go down.
15 minutes.
I think I'm on like a prop or something like that. I don't know how that worked out.
Godspeed, buddy. It sounds like the props we had to take when we used to go to White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia.
Yeah, that was a white knuckler.
Let me tell you, I had a great story going to and coming from camp last year. Let's see. On the way to camp last year, of course, the Saints are not there anymore. And people have always talked about the Greenbrier curse. Well, guess what? Will Fuller busted his collarbone. He's out till mid-October, Texans wide receiver. So, Saints fans, get on the horn. You could do it because the curse is there. It's all there.
And I tell you, I want to switch gears real quick because I just thought of something that we haven't talked about.
I like it.
Okay, so Pelicans, we're going to have some Pelicans news tomorrow, right? Because
yes.
we're going to have Gentry and DeMarcus Cousins. I should update people on where their D-League location stands, where that search for a location for the Pelicans D-League team.
You interrupted my prop plane story for this?
I know, I'm sorry, but it was right foremost in my mind, and sorry about that. But here's what I know. I think it's basically a two-city race right now between Shreveport and Pensacola, Florida. I believe the Shreveport City Council has a vote coming up. If it's not this week, it's next week. It's very soon on a proposal to build a sports complex in downtown Shreveport. If that gets a thumbs up by the Shreveport City Council, that, I think, will be where the D-League team goes. If it doesn't, if it somehow gets voted down, I think Pensacola will be the backup plan. They've had some political issues in Pensacola over this proposition, but I think the Pelicans would like to keep the team in the state of Louisiana. By having it in Shreveport, it kind of connects the organization to the north part of the state. There's a connection there now. And so I think there's a lot of positives by having that team in Shreveport, but they've got to get an arena approved by City Council before they put the team there. And look, I think this D-League is – Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, is really they're investing in this D-League. I think down the road, it's not going to happen overnight, but there's going to be 30 teams in that D-League. Eventually, when we hear him talking about doing away with the one-and-done rule, I think he's got his eye on the D-League and making that become the source for these top high school players. He wants them to be able to go right to the NBA, and then that's just going to boost up the D-League because more and more of these guys like Ben Simmons, players that did not want to go to college in the first place, now they can get drafted in the NBA and they can develop them in the D-League. It's only going to enhance the profile of the D-League if you have these top high school stars playing on these minor league teams. We already see people watching the summer league to watch the draft picks. I think in 5 or 10 years, the D-League is going to be a big deal.
I got a couple of thoughts there. One, it's about time that the D-League has a team for every team. Why not make it like minor league baseball? It's simple. People go to it. You can actually obviously those players aren't getting paid a ton, but you could make money off of it. So that makes a ton of sense. And then, two, if you are, and let's say they get rid of one and done, whatever, but even if you are a kid that comes out of the draft, into the draft, not drafted, you're in limbo land, you can at least get signed by this team. You're like an undrafted rookie. You could get signed by the D-League team and basically a quote-unquote practice squad player and play. And I think it all makes sense. And also what I'm wondering, if that happens, because it expands teams, you need more players, totally just top of my head, do you add a third round to the NBA draft? I'm just curious. I have no idea.
You could.
I think you could.
I definitely think you could. And I think they would be able to, if they eliminate the one and done and let players go straight out of high school to the NBA draft, I think they could get the Major League Baseball rule passed and the NFL rule where players that do go into college have to stay 3 years. And I think that will help boost up college basketball, because right now with this one and done, it seems like everything is geared toward the NBA. No one's even talking about college basketball. It's all about the Ben Simmons halfway house at LSU on your way to the NBA.
You make him sound like he's like a drug addict or a criminal. He's in the halfway house.
It's just a stopover. They're not. It's rendered college basketball meaningless, irrelevant in some ways, because everybody's talking about it's just a pit stop on the way to the NBA. Now you've got guys there for 3 years. You can start following them. Look, it's something's got to change in college basketball, because this one and done rule is not good for anybody, and I applaud Adam Silver for recognizing it and trying to get a solution to a problem.
It's good for Cal.
And I mark my words, when they build up this D League,
good for Cal,
and it becomes a big deal, and they go to some kind of 2 or 3 year Major League Baseball rule for college basketball, Calipari will be in the NBA. Mark my words.
Yeah, he'll be the Pelicans next coach.
He will not be in college basketball. He will not be at Kentucky, because it's going to eliminate his
He'll be wherever
franchise.
Anthony Davis goes next, or whether it's here or somewhere else.
Oh, wow. Hot take.
Hot
take by Larry Holder.
It's the first time that anyone's ever mentioned that Anthony Davis might not stick with the Pelicans. Let's go to phone lines, 504-260-1280. Brother in Metairie. Brother, thanks for calling Dunc and Holder. What you got?
Hey, guys. I hate to keep calling y'all every day asking y'all questions about the Saints.
Well, then we're going to hang up on you later, brother. See you. Just kidding, man. No, we appreciate it. Man. We appreciate it.
I want to talk about the wide receiver position, okay?
Bring it.
There's a three we know is locked in, correct? The top three.
Yeah, they're locked in. Yes.
Okay. Now, after we get to the game, to the Steve, and after we get to the top three, what are we looking at? Coleman, Colby Fuller? Are those the next two in line?
Yes.
Yeah, those would be the next two in line. But let's, Jeff and brother, let's kind of go through what the thinking could be at that wide receiver position. You could keep possibly 4 to 5 true wide receivers and have a sixth, say, special teams guy who really, like a Jake Lampman, who you wouldn't want to see in the offense. Or you could go lighter and only keep 4. So I think that's kind of the dilemma the Saints are going to have to face, and they'll probably learn more of that as we go throughout training camp.
Well, brother, what's your question? Are you asking who we think is going to be after that, or how many they'll keep?
I'm asking you how many you think they'll keep when the final cut is made.
I think they keep 6. I think they'll keep the 5 you mentioned, Coleman and Fuller being number 4 and number 5, and then I think they'll keep either Lampman or Tommy Lee Lewis as a 6th and special teams guy. But I really think Lampman would have the edge there, because I really believe that Lewis is going to make the team as a return man, or he's not going to make it. And I think they really like Kamara as a return man and Ted Ginn Jr., and that would eliminate Lewis. He becomes expendable then.
Okay, and then what about Darrell? He'll go to practice squad?
Yes.
I think that is something that I think realistically he has to hope for. That's the way to go with him. So yeah, I would totally agree with that. So hey, brother, appreciate the phone call, and don't be shy. It's okay. We don't bite unless you ask Jeff. Then he might. I don't know. Jeff, don't bite. Just heads up.
I love it, brother. And anything else, or is that it?
Nope. He gone.
All right.
Just like practice. It's gone. It's over at the Saints facility. And according to our own Herbie Teope, he did not see Trey Hendrickson, Kobe Fleener, Marshawn Lattimore, Tony McDaniel, and Martin Wallace at practice. So as the updates come in, we will give them to you. Bro was present, according to our Josh Katzenstein, but not practicing. And he mentioned the return game, and that's something Ted Ginn got into yesterday with the media. And why don't we play his thoughts after this commercial break? So come on back right here on Dunc and Holder. Got 30 more minutes, and if you want to get involved, go ahead, 504-260-1280. 1280, or on our YouTube Live comment stream. You can ask a question there. Jeff will be out tomorrow. Our own Jim Derry from NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune, he will be co-hosting with me. So there's no way it's Derry and Holder. No chance. We need a new logo.
How about JD and Holder? That would work.
How about Holder and a guy who's trying to hose me in fantasy baseball? How about that?
I like the song, David. I like it.
Good segue, because no one cares about my fantasy team.
Exactly.
Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. We're Dunc and Holder.
She's a vegetarian. Mary Moon.
Your forecast on Sports 1280, New Orleans.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
Happy Thursday from the Fox 8 Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Shelby Latino. Showers and storms from this morning will still be spotty through the afternoon hours, especially along the coast. It does look like we'll see drier skies by this evening, and then more rounds of rain expected tomorrow and Saturday. Temperatures will stay below average as a result, likely getting into the mid-80s today, then the 70s overnight, before more mid to upper 80s Friday and Saturday. From the Fox 8 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Shelby Latino. Have a great day.
When Marlon Shirley was 5, he lost his foot. Today, as the world's fastest amputee, he runs the 100 meters in less time than it takes to listen to this. Overcoming. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life.
We alarm our houses, and we alarm our cars. But when it comes to your personal information, it can be tough to know when something isn't right. That's where Discover Card can help. Now, we'll send you an alert if we find your social security number on any one of thousands of risky websites. And this service is free for card members. Just sign up online. It's our way of looking out for you, not just your account. Learn more at discover.com/free alerts. Limitations apply.
Hurry in. For a limited time, get big savings on automotive batteries while they're hot. Visit AutoZone today for hot deals on the parts and supplies you need. While heat causes battery fluid to evaporate, which could damage your battery, Duralast batteries are designed to beat the heat, tested to start your car at up to 167 degrees Fahrenheit. And right now, you'll get a $20 AutoZone gift card by mail-in rebate when you buy select automotive batteries. Let's get you what you need. Restrictions and details apply. Limit 2.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
In just a fast few minutes from right now, you can have life insurance for up to $500,000 without taking a medical exam and without leaving your home. We're Fast Life, and we're going to make this easy and fast. Odds are that you don't have enough insurance, or you're paying way too much for what you got, or you don't have any, and that's not good. Listen, nobody likes to think about life insurance, but we're grown-ups now, so call and protect your family. 1-800-254-9567, or go to fastlife.life. You've got insurance? That's great, but you may be able to get more coverage and pay less than what you're paying now. And with no medical exam, you can get it right over the phone, and that's fast. Faster than a speeding bullet? No, but fast. And we also said we make it easy. So call and get quotes, then submit an application over the phone, and that's it. And that's easy. Get approved, and coverage starts instantly. And that's fast. Faster than the speed of light? No, but fast. Call 1-800-254-9567 or go to fastlife.life. Fastlife.life. It's revolutionary. It's Fast Life.
Hurry in. For a limited time, get big savings on automotive batteries while they're hot. Visit AutoZone today for hot deals on the parts and supplies you need. While heat causes battery fluid to evaporate, which could damage your battery, Duralast batteries are designed to beat the heat, tested to start your car at up to 167 degrees Fahrenheit. And right now, you'll get a $20 AutoZone gift card by mail-in rebate when you buy select automotive batteries. Let's get you what you need. Restrictions and details apply. Limit 2.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's your home. This is where you talk the home teams. Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Dunc and Holder back at you for about 25 more minutes. Josh Ennis from noon to 2. Jordy Holtberg from 2 to 4. Corey Johnson from 4 to 6. And before us, Chris Gordy from 8 to 10 here on Sports 1280. Had this format cranking up in its third week, and I could tell you the feedback has been awesome. And so can't do it without you guys listening, and so keep on coming. And bringing some updates, the Saints have announced that Sunday's practice will be at Tulane's Ullman Stadium, and I will just read you what they sent, and I don't have any other details other than what they sent. So here we go. The gates to Ullman Stadium will open at 6 p.m. Parking for the practice will be available in the Diebold Garage located on Ben Weiner Drive and on the Tulane campus in non-reserve spots beginning at 5:30 p.m. The practice is scheduled to run from approximately 7 to 9 p.m., followed by a brief autograph session by the players. There will be no charge to attend the practice or for on-campus parking. Those fans that had reserved tickets for Sunday morning's training camp session will receive communication from the Saints ticket office explaining future options for their reserved tickets. Capacity for the practice at Ullman Stadium will be 7,000. So I don't want to make an assumption, but it sounds like you can just go.
7,000 they're limiting? Is that what it said?
Yeah, but it sounds like you would not need a ticket. It sounds that way. I'm not certain. It doesn't make it clear, does it? Or am I missing something?
No, that's right.
Okay.
I think you can just walk up.
I think you could just go.
I don't think they're expecting more than 7,000. That's a lot.
Right. Well, last year you could just go to Tulane, and it's not something at the facility where it's a small. So I think you could just go. So that's good.
Yeah, that should be a good one. Hopefully the weather cooperates, and it was nice last year, so I would hope that they get a big turnout. I bet they do. Taking the Saints uptown, I mean, that's where it all started for the New Orleans Saints franchise, right there at Tulane University, the exact same footprint where Ullman Stadium is the footprint of the old Tulane Stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. So in our last segment, we had a caller in talking about the wide receiver position, and let's hear from Ted Ginn Jr. Of course, he's coming in, and he, to me, is assuming the Devery Henderson role as the speedster. And we got 5 sound bites from him, and let's just start off, Dave, from the top. Of course, he's going to be fielding punts, fielding returns, and Alvin Kamara is back there, and Ted Ginn, of course, the veteran, wants to try to help out Alvin Kamara, the rookie. Let's hear how he's trying to do that in fielding some stuff from Thomas Morstead.
Well, I studied him so much at Carolina. I feel like I'm his shadow, But, that guy is awesome, man. And one thing I just try to show AK is to try to get the tip off his foot. And the way that he do things with his foot is amazing, And that guy going to put you 2 yards outside of that number and outside of that sideline, and he's going to leave you there. And that's something that you don't see in this league. And one thing I told AK, if you master this dude right here, then it's going to be easy for you around the league.
And you hear what Ginn has to say, and you could tell he's had to work on catching punts off of Morstead before in the past. So he's a veteran returner. And to me, if I'm looking at this thing, you would say Ginn would fit better probably as a punt returner, and Kamara would fit better as the kick returner. It'd be better if you don't have one guy doing both, if you got 2 available to do this thing.
That's how I think it's going to shake out. I think Daniel Lasco, if he makes the team, will also be back on kickoff returns with Kamara. And he told us yesterday it's Kamara, not Kamara.
Kamara.
Which it sounded weird. I mean, he's been called Kamara his entire career, but he said he pronounces it Kamara, so he should know.
Well, he's a Camaro, so he's Kamara. Let's do it.
Yeah,
T-Top Kamara. Just remember him as that.
I mean, it's weird. His name's been mispronounced his entire career. We're just now finding out.
Well, I feel like that's like Novak Djokovic. Like, people don't know how to pronounce his name and just roll with it, whatever. Who knows?
But no, I agree with you. I think the build, Sean Payton's talked about this before. You can get away with a little bit of a slighter build. There's a different skill set you need at punt return than on kickoff return, where you just kind of need the straight line speed, a little bit of a bulkier guy, because it's a more physical, violent collision on kickoff returns than on punt returns, where you need somebody that has a quick first step and kind of a little more wiggle and elusiveness on punt returns. If you remember, Deuce McAllister returned kickoffs his first year with the Saints. I mean, he's 6'2", 220. I think he even returned one for a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. So you can get away with a bigger guy on kickoff returns. That's why Lasco, I think, fits there.
Just quick off topic, but certainly Saints related. Our former colleague for the Times Picayune NOLA.com, now at ESPN, Mike Triplett, tweeting out, play of the day, Kim's in the secondary, and it's Ken Crawley again, intercepting a pass from Drew Brees. Look, Ken Crawley's had a good camp, man. He is, you know what? You know who he's making nervous? Sterling Moore, Devontae Harris. He's making those guys nervous because he's starting to elevate himself from those 2 guys particularly.
I agree. I think Sterling Moore might be in trouble making the team. He could be a guy that could get cut that you're not expecting to get cut, even though he's been very solid. And it's nothing against him. It's probably just other guys are beating him out. These young players are developing. King Crawley has had a great camp. He stood out more than any cornerback in camp so far.
Yeah, King Crawley. And if you don't go with a veteran guy like Moore and Devontae Harris doesn't get it done, that's where, as a fifth guy, Arthur Millette could be a guy who could slide in. Like, say, like a Brian Dixon. I mean, I think Millette's a better cover guy than Dixon was, but Dixon made the team because he played special teams, and Millette could be the same thing. I mean, we'll have to see. But a week into camp, and you keep hearing his name from Sean Payton's mouth, and he's not prompted to say it. So I think that's something.
Unsolicited praise from Payton. That's a very good sign.
Definitely so. 504-260-1280 is the number. Jerry in Gretna. Thanks for calling Dunc and Holder. What you got, Jerry?
It's Terry.
Oh, Dave.
Terry in Gretna.
Dave, TJ, he doesn't know the difference.
That's okay. That's
Terry
okay.
in Gretna. I got an F- in English today. So what's up, Terry?
Well, look, you mentioned the Saints started. That's the footprint of the old stadium.
Right over at absolutely.
To be exact, it's the old practice field.
Right. You're exactly right.
I used to practice. Yeah, the south end zone of the stadium of Turchin Stadium is what used to be the north end zone of old Sugar Bowl Stadium.
Right. No, you're exactly right. I guess it still counts, though, right, Terry? I mean, like, it's close enough.
You're close.
I mean, like, probably the north end of Ullman Stadium would be technically close to the...
the north end of that stadium, that used to be where the old baseball field was.
Right.
The old baseball diamond, which they moved. They moved everything closer to Claiborne Avenue is what they did.
Well, Terry, did you used to go to games there? What was it like back? I mean, that was before our time.
Many years I went there.
What was it like? I've heard great stories about.
It was wonderful.
Loud?
It was wonderful. Even though it was cramped up, being in a neighborhood, and as far as I remember when they were going to build Ullman Stadium, everybody was complaining about, where are you going to find parking? We always found parking when the Saints were playing there. People always found a place to park.
Yeah,
even if you parked in somebody's driveway.
Didn't the neighbors solicit parking and have you park in their driveways or in their yards?
Yes, they did. And I don't remember hearing any of the people that lived on Audubon Place there, or whatever, Audubon Boulevard. I don't remember them ever complaining about Tulane or the Saints having a football stadium there. So I was appalled by all of a sudden when, after a few years, Tulane decides to put another stadium in that area, that they went bonkers all over it. But that was just a ploy. That was strictly a ploy. Those people, that really wasn't serious.
The NIMBYs were outraged. The NIMBYs, as they say, not in my backyard.
Right. That's exactly what it was.
They were outraged.
I want to know if you're going to have Todd Graffinini covering Tulane.
Well, he's always doing it. Hey, he was on earlier this week, actually. So
he was? Okay.
Todd Graffinini is my youngest son's godfather, so he's going to be on the show. Come on, we're going to do it.
Yeah, we had Graf on, and we will have Will Guillory on probably in the next day or two because he's been covering Tulane practice for us. So we will definitely keep Tulane.
One little history thing I want to give you. Back in the 1950s, probably even before that, Tulane's old radio station for doing their football games was WDSU 1280. So it's wonderful to be back at 1280.
All right. Well, good deal. Hey, Terry, appreciate the phone call. Not Jerry, Terry. There we go. Dave. Blaming Dave.
Larry, Terry, Jerry, Harry.
Phil, Tito, whatever. Who knows what's going on. Before we get back to some Ted Ginn sound, Sean Payton called the issues with shotgun snaps an epidemic.
He did?
Yes, after practice today. Epidemic.
I think you used that word.
I did. He listens. He said he would.
He's parroting
He checks
you.
our ratings. Are you kidding me? He checks our ratings.
It is as bad as I've ever seen. This is my 18th year. I've never seen as many. It's not that the snaps are completely sailing over people's heads. It's just so many bad snaps that quarterbacks having to jump up and catch and bobble or off to the side. I've never seen it as bad as it is.
Yeah, speaking of catching, let's go to Ted Ginn. Let's hear what he has to say. The first cut, Dave, of him wondering what it's going to take to win the return job.
Well, you know, I studied him so much at Carolina. I feel like I'm his shadow, you know. But, you know, that guy's is awesome, man. And one thing I just try to show AK is to try to get the tip off his foot. And the way that he do things with his foot is amazing, you know. And that guy going to put you 2 yards outside of that number and outside of that sideline, and he's going to leave you there. And that's something that you don't see in this league. And one thing I told AK, if you master this dude right here, then it's going to be easy for you around the league.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. What do you think you or anyone else has to prove to win that job?
I really don't know. You know, as long as we keep playing as a team, keep playing as brothers, you know, whoever get back there, just block for the guy, and that's all that really matters. And let the guy win and score. You know, whoever get the opportunity to go back there and play, man, let the best man win. You know, there's nothing that we can do about it. There's nothing that we can say about it. We just got to go out and just have fun.
I thought this show was about to go off the rails, but we just had to hear him speak again, and then he came around to it.
Deja vu.
But he said that was that. Look, he just had to explain himself. Let's actually hear, would he prefer to win the return job, or would he just want to be a wide receiver on this team?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, that's what kept me in this league. I ain't been here 11 years by catching a slant or a post or anything like that. It's been because I was a special teamer, you know, and that's something that, you know, if you're a special teamer, you kind of like 2 or 3 guys that's on the field, you know, so that's why I try to stay.
Now, Ted Ginn is known for his speed. Is he the fastest guy on the team?
You answer that for yourself. Top 5. I'm top 1 though. You know. You know. I mean, there's some fast guys out there. You got Tommy Lee, you got AK. You know, you got some guys out there. Even Corey Fuller could go a little bit too. You know. So I see a lot of speed around there. And as long as we just keep going, we put the components in the right spot, man, we can take off.
And then, of course, Ted Ginn has played with Cam Newton. He's played with Drew Brees. Who does he prefer?
You know, I mean, they're just 2 different guys, man. Cam is who he is. You know, he like to go out and make big plays, and Drew is the type of guy he's gonna take what the D give to him. You know, and you know, we just gonna go out, continue just to fight and play. You know, and Drew's one of them guys that, you know, he gonna get you in the right spot and get you to where you need to be at all times. You know, and Cam not different from that either. You know, but it's just who Drew is and how he product and how he go to the line and do different things, make it seem like, you know, he sets to be better than what he is. But we just have fun. We have fun. And we just keep playing.
No throwing Cam Newton under the bus.
Not at all.
I was waiting for him to.
They are tight. I know they're tight.
Yeah, of course they are. Well, he had his best seasons with Cam Newton, so what do you expect?
And he's right. I mean, they are 2 totally different quarterbacks and both very successful, obviously. And it's still amazing that Drew Brees is the one quarterback, well, hasn't won an MVP, and Matt Ryan and Cam Newton have.
Well, Drew won an MVP. In the most important spot, just
Super Bowl MVP.
Let's just say that. Yeah, I'll take
he
that.
He could go down in history as maybe the greatest player to never win an MVP. I would say that.
You could be right. It's close. Yeah,
and maybe he wins it this year.
Yeah, we'll see. Uh-oh. That means you're predicting.
Hot take.
Yeah, hot take. Me, I say Anthony Davis is leaving. You, Drew Brees is going to be the MVP.
So I was curious when the last punt return the Saints had for a touchdown. It wasn't that long ago, actually. Marcus Murphy had one in 2015.
Yeah, but we only remember him from fumbling and bumbling everywhere. So, and that's why he's gone.
Yeah,
see you
he
later.
Had a few yips there. No, he's with the New York Jets.
Yep. Good luck to him. We'll see what happens. That's where the land of misfit toys goes these days. So one more break here on Dunc and Holder, then we'll wrap up our Thursday edition. And just a heads up, Jim Derry's going to be co-hosting with me tomorrow, and he is a big preps guy, our primary preps reporter, and we're going to have on JT Curtis from John Curtis, of course, nationally known as one of the best football programs in the country, will be joining us here on the show.
He's a legend.
Until he faces Jay Roth and Rummel.
Oh,
yeah!
We had to go there.
We're always going to go there. Sports 1280, NOLA.com, and the iHeart Radio app. We're Dunc and Holder.
Welcome to the grind.
This one is gone.
The day in, day out. One series to the next.
100-mile-an-hour struck him out.
The Cakes take on the El Paso Chihuahuas tonight at 7, only on Sports 1280. Your home for the New Orleans Baby Cakes.
Napa know-how.
The Napa Legend battery does legendary things, like starting your car when the heat index hits $1.25, or making sure your AC stays running like a gazelle. And now, when you buy a Napa Legend battery, you'll get a prepaid Visa card by mail worth $15. $15 back and a new battery? That's not just legendary, that's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 8/31/17.
Colonel Sanders from KFC here to talk about the good old days. Well, the good old days are still here in chicken form. Specifically, in KFC's original recipe fried chicken with 11 herbs and spices. Our delicious chicken is still hand-breaded and pressure-fried just like it was then. Get your fill with 2 pieces of my original recipe in a $5 fill-up with mashed potatoes, a biscuit, a cookie, and a drink at a KFC near you. KFC, it's still finger-licking good. At participating KFCs, prices may vary. Tax extra.
The Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority presents the Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise Back to School Family Health Expo. It's Saturday, August 12th at the Dryads YMCA, 10 until 2 o'clock. The day will include school supplies and health screenings. The D&D Youth Organization is a mentoring group that teaches using the discipline of boxing. Come to their fundraiser on August 19th featuring Greg Truecham Davis. Go to dndyouth.org. A message from Sports 1280 Communities, helping to make a difference in New Orleans.
Honda's having a summer party called the Honda Summerbration Sales Event, where there are great deals on the 2017 Accord. With an available 278 horsepower V6 engine with sport mode, it's perfect for long summer drives. Plus, it has adaptive cruise control, a system that helps you maintain a safe following distance even if the driver in front of you changes speed. But you better hurry to your local Honda dealer because, like summer, the Honda Summerbration Sales Event will not last long. Don't wait. Check out the Honda Summerbration Sales Event going on now.
Concur does what might seem impossible for your business. It makes employees happy and finance happy. How? Well, employees love automated expense reports and invoices they can submit and approve from anywhere. And finance loves that they have full visibility into employee spend. Plus, Concur integrates with leading finance systems. Concur makes the process better for everyone. Concur. Expense, travel, invoice. Learn more at concur.com.
Hi, I'm Nick Jonas, and I'm here to tell you about Think It Up, a new initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join us at thinkitup.org.
Dunc and Holder now. Josh Innes next at noon on Sports 1280, New Orleans.
One more segment here on Dunc and Holder, a little preview of tomorrow's show. Jeff will be traveling the world, headed to Canton, Ohio for the Pro Football Hall of Fame ceremony. Of course, do not forget that Jeff is our Media Markets Hall of Fame voter, did the presentation to make the sales pitch to the voters for Morton Anderson, and Jeffrey will always deserve a round of applause for getting that done. Good job.
I'm just relieved, to be honest with you. There's a lot of responsibility. You feel an obligation to the player, Morton Anderson, to get him in. Even though I know it doesn't come down to that, you do feel that responsibility. And so I'm really relieved. I was as happy, I think, as Morton was that he got in. And now, I don't know when the next Saint will be in that room. I don't know who it'll be. Maybe Jari Evans?
Drew Brees.
It's probably going to be Drew Brees before we have another New Orleans Saint in the Hall of Fame. I mean, right now on the preliminary ballot, you have Sam Mills. Leroy Glover, we got him on this year. I don't think he's going to make it to that finalist, the final 15 that make in the room. We probably are looking at Drew Brees as the next Saints Hall of Famer.
And then after that, who knows? It could be 20 years for all I know. I have no idea. Unless Michael Thomas is like the greatest wide receiver to ever play. I don't know. But
the way people are talking about Brandon Coleman, I mean, he might be a Hall of Famer. I mean, I've never heard such hype after 5 days of practice.
I have, and I've seen it all plummet to earth
Adrian Arrington.
I certainly have seen that. Champ Bailey. Woo!
Yes.
Well, he will be in the Hall of Fame, but not for his play.
It's the silly season
Not
right
for
now.
his play with the Saints. But tomorrow's show, Jim Derry from NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune, our primary prep reporter, columnist. He does an awesome job. He'll join us. Like I said, JT Curtis from John Curtis will join us. And we'll talk some salary cap issues, contract issues, with Joel Corey, who does a fantastic job. His work, and you could see it on CBSSports.com and a National Football Post. He gives some excellent insight on some contracts. So we'll talk to him and see what the Saints might be thinking with Drew Brees, what maybe could go into a Kenny Vaccaro contract, what could go into a Willie Snead contract, and what are some of the complications with Nick Fairley. We'll mention that as well. So, Jeff, let's, before we go, because we promised it, Ryan Ramczyk, look, he's out there having a good camp, and as of right now, and I'm sure in this foreseeable future, he will be your starting left tackle. Let's hear from him on how he's handling training camp so far.
They've been pretty solid. Obviously, there's still a lot of room to improve on things, little details and stuff. But so far, I'm feeling confident with the offense and going out there and playing fast.
What's the ratio of plays you're happy with and plays you want back after a practice?
That's a tough question because I think on every play there's something I can always improve on. But I think as far as understanding the offense and executing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm feeling really good about that.
And on his side of the football, he's not typically facing Cam Jordan like a single guy. He's facing either Okafor or Haley Kikaha. And from the reporters out there, it looks like Kikaha had another good practice, so that's good with him. But how has being up against diverse pass rushers maybe helped Ryan in his game so far at training camp?
Yeah, they are. They each have their own, kind of little pass moves and run defense, and they play it differently. So it's good to get that difference between the two and feel kind of both of those rushes.
And then what's the biggest adjustment for Ramczyk going from college to the pros?
I think what I've kind of been feeling so far is the pass rush. There's so many little things that go into your pass rush and your kick and how your body's positioned, how your hips are positioned, where you're throwing your hands, and then just the speed and the strength of the NFL compared to college is a lot different. So I think the pass rush adjustment is a little bit bigger for me right now.
I think that's Jeff's plane taking off without him already over Ramczyk's head.
It's a problem at Saints camp, right? There's always the flight patterns.
Absolutely, yeah. But I want to thank Ron Higgins for jumping on the show. Again, Jeff, safe travels. Enjoy it. And we're going to look forward to all your coverage. And check out Jeff's story right now on NOLA.com. Great story about Morton Anderson. Background, talks to so many people. Good job on that, Jeff.
Thanks, bud. And I'll call in tomorrow once I land in Canton.
Absolutely. So, again, tomorrow we'll be back in studio. And I want to thank everybody for listening. iTunes, SoundCloud, NOLA.com, Sports1280.com if you missed any of the show. Josh Ennis coming up next for Jeff Dunc and Larry Holder. For Dave Behind the Glass, thanks for joining us. Dunc and Holder.
Rich Eisen here. The Honda Accord is a summer standout. It's stylish, spacious, and thanks to the available